Hello.
Hi, Sonia. It's such a pleasure to have you here. I was looking actually at your background, and if you've never seen Sonia, you might be surprised. This humble lady is somebody who was on the pages of magazines like Vogue, who was in New York Times, who has the business which is global. She's in US with her products. And yet, you see, she's standing here, smiling, and at home, she has 5 kids, right? You know, I'm coming from the corporate world, and I served on the C-suite of large companies. But I always had huge respect to entrepreneurs. And I even have much bigger respect now when I'm on my own. It's, if you're from the corporations, you know, this is different level. There is no big brother standing behind you, no big pocket of money. I'm just wondering, what made you make the decision 10 years ago, right? 10 years ago to start with a company. Because you didn't know that you will be so successful. You didn't know that you will become somebody like Coco Chanel in making, huh?
So, hello everybody. My name is Sonia Deasy, and I am the founder and CEO of Pestle Mortar. I'm from Ireland, and yes, I do have 5 children, and I run my own business. So I started my business 10 years ago. Prior to that, I was working with my husband, running a portrait photography studio. Back then, it was around 2010. We were coming out of the biggest recession that the world had seen.
Were you scared at that time?
I was very scared. So myself and my husband were running our portrait studio. We were traveling around the world educating professional photographers at seminars. He has a lot of accolades and awards to his name. And it was at one of these photography seminars that I noticed before the model skin was prepped before a demo shoot, their skin didn't look great before the prep, but after the prep, their skin looked amazing. And it was because I discovered they were using a product with hyaluronic acid inside.
It sounds really easy. I saw somebody having pain, there was a product, the solution, so I had that brilliant idea to start the business, and here I am successful. But it was not like that, isn't it? It's never like that. What is that those things behind, those feelings and those moments which define our future, those decisions?
So I think at the time, we were in America at a conference at the time, and I was expecting my 5th child. And our business, our portrait photography business in Ireland, was going, we had lost up to 60% of our revenue. So I am here at this conference thinking, how are we going to feed and clothe and pay for these children?
This is at the very bottom of
Yes.
Maslow's pyramid. Big fear, isn't it? Huh?
Yes. So I knew that number 1, I had to do something, and number 2, I had to do something different.
Where did you take that courage, actually, to turn the crisis into the opportunity? In a difficult situation, somebody could probably crash under such a pressure.
I think it goes back to the way I was brought up. So both of my parents are Indian. My father came to Ireland in 1963. There's a joke that everybody in Ireland, all the Indians in Ireland make, that my father was the very first Indian man to get an Irish passport.
Excellent.
Yeah, so when I grew up in Ireland at that time, there was very few Indian or Asian people. We were the only coloured family in our town. My father ran a business in the town. So we were very well known for different reasons, that we stood out, we were different. But my father, even though he was an Indian man in the 1960s, when he brought us up, I have 4 brothers and 1 sister, but he brought us up the same, with the same opportunities.
What did he do actually? Because you can say like, yes, he supported me or whatever. It's a little bit shallow. Let's go a bit deeper. What did he do differently?
He believed in education.
Okay.
Yeah, so he believed, a lot of Indians are really into education, I know that, but he believed in education, and he believed that the path to my success and all of his children's success was through education. So he brought myself and my sister up to be independent women. He brought us up the exact same way that he brought his very 4 sons up.
You told me about one formational moment when I would call it tough love, you know, presented to you. It's something about that shop, you know, if you can share with people.
So my parents ran a business in our town, and after I graduated from college, he asked me, and he chose me out of all of his 6 children to run his business for 3 years. So
was it something what you would expect from Indian father?
No.
Is it ingrained in your culture, isn't it?
No, not at all. So if he was traditional Indian back there, I am now I'm 48. Yeah, I am 48. So back then, you know, his peers, so his friends' children, so the females were brought up to have an arranged marriage and marry an Indian man. And have a family and not work. But he was completely opposite, and he still is. He's still alive today. He's 83, and he taught me that consistency is key. And I learned that running his store and our family business. So in 40 years that he had a business, he never missed one single day. So consistency is key. And I bring that through with my products in Pestle Mortar, where, you know, we believe that consistency is key. You can use all of the products every day, and you should.
You mentioned one other advice, which, if I say it, people may understand it differently, because your father told you, and you should select your husband really well. And you may think like, yeah, arranged marriages, probably he thought about somebody who is rich and can support his daughter, but he didn't mean that, right? What does he mean, actually?
No, so he understood, he told myself and my sister, the only piece of advice I'm going to give you if you do get married is don't marry an Indian man.
Okay, let's go deeper, because let's go deeper, because
he said, most Indian men will not be like me. So, and but this is, you know, I'm married 20 years now, so, you know, it's changed now.
And was it about the respect and support of your wishes, which he was wishing for you?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So he knew myself and my sister were brought up to be independent, and whoever we married would have to understand that we are able to look after ourselves, we're able to earn our own money, and we're independent, yes. And he brought us up like that.
It is also amazing, you know, when I was learning about Sonia, she's coming actually from a very rich family history and tradition and heritage. There is 6th generation of medicine men going backwards in your family tree. Was it a huge inspiration for you, or just coincidence that I am having this beautiful brand, by the way, which has the stand over there in that corner, and there are samples and beautiful ladies who can actually explain you everything.
So my brand is called Pestle Mortar. So a pestle mortar is an implement that you use to grind down herbs and medicines. And it's an implement that my grandfather used in his medicine. He was a medicine man in India, and it's an implement that he used in his work. So natural healing goes back in my family over 100 years. So all of the inspiration for my products and the formulations they're all formulated based around this, where we use ingredients from nature combined with science.
You know, it's amazing. Because when I listen to your story and I'm trying to project it to our society, quite often what we see in our region, let's say, is that young people tend to define themselves very often opposite to their predecessors, and maybe they want to rebel. But what I hear here is actually that you are somehow moving the heritage forward in a way. What is behind that? How come that you didn't try to find a totally different way than your ancestors?
I think some of it has got to do with respect for my ancestors. So in our culture, even though I was born in Ireland, we really respect our elders, and you know, we really try and mind those traditions and those family traditions, and they are really important to me. And that's the way I was brought up.
Maybe this is something what we could learn from you, right? And I think Nevena was also talking about that, what we can learn from our mothers and grandmothers, but also fathers and grandfathers, obviously.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, my own mum, she passed away 2 years ago, but so my mum would have taught me how to raise a family.
So you got actually the best from both worlds, right? Your father taught you independence and empowered you and was tough on you to help you become independent, right? Mm-hmm. And your mother was very loving and
she
caring.
Was very, very mothering, loving, caring. Yes, absolutely.
How do you actually take this with you? How about your children? Are you using these approaches also towards them?
Yes, so obviously I can't speak your language, so I didn't understand a lot of what the ladies were talking about on stage today. But what I did, I asked some of the girls on the stand to translate for me, and what I understood was a lot of the women were saying that you can't tell your children what to do; it's by your actions. So I think I don't tell my children what to do; they learn from how I behave. Yeah.
And the truth is that you are really a great role model, actually, I'm sure, for women and girls around you. In one of your interviews, you said, like, anything is possible and everything is possible, right? This sounds like the value which you are living every day, right?
Yeah, no, I do believe that. I think that anything is possible, but I do believe that you can't do everything at once. So my time for having my children and raising my children, I'm lucky. They are my greatest achievement, my 5 children. My eldest child is 19 and my youngest child is 13. And there was a time for me when myself and my husband had our children, and you know, we weren't so busy in work. And then after they got a bit older, I got the opportunity, or I took the opportunity to create a global brand, and that's my time now. So I think you can't have everything at once, I think. Yeah.
Uh-huh. What I loved about our discussion a few hours ago was your view of harmony in life. And when I asked you whether you would like to tell the audience about what would be your message to your younger self, or to young ladies in the audience, or maybe to fathers in the audience, you caught me by surprise. Can you share what you told me?
So I said I would like to say to the fathers in the audience. So I don't know how many men are here, but I think it's great. It's really good that, you know, we're having a conference, I'm standing on stage, we're talking about equal pay, equal opportunities, but we have to not forget about the men and the boys. So I have 3 daughters and 2 sons. I think it's really, really important that, yes, we do get equal pay, equal opportunities, that, and we will get there. It's coming. It's, you know, it's around the corner. But equally, we have to look after, or we have to remember about the men and the boys, and we have to give them the opportunity. Every week I'm asked to speak at a female-only conference. there are no, I don't know, are there any men-only conferences anymore? And if men start to have them, will women start saying, oh, how can they have men-only conferences? We should come. So we have to be cognizant that it goes both ways. And I think as women, we will get there. We're getting there. I see in Ireland, we're really getting there very, very quickly. But we should not forget about the men, because we have to live in harmony. And it's not a race. It's not a competition. We're not better than them. They're not better than us. And we really do need to learn to live in harmony.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It's such a beautiful closing.
Thank
and
you.
I have a question for you. If there is anything from the audience.
Your brand is international. Where do you see biggest differences in the opportunities for women and as compared to men in the countries where your brand is present? Thank you.
Where do I see the biggest opportunities for?
No, biggest differences in opportunities.
Oh, the differences.
Between
countries. So I see a difference in this country.
Which one?
Yeah, I see a difference here. I think that women have a longer way to go here than we do in Ireland. I think it's a little bit different, but I think that you will get there. Also, where else do I see the biggest differences? You put me on the spot. But I do see a difference here. Definitely. Okay. I do, but you will get there. We will get there.
Máte ještě nějakou otázku někdo? Tak děkujeme. Thank you very much. Sonia Deasy, zakladatelka, majitelka kosmetické firmy Pestle Mortar. Slyšeli jste v rohu